So basically, you should have a file open that has two blocks
up to the
completed.
room number.
The workstation and the conference table.
The door number is
We're going to do the rest of them, and it's going to look something like
it's kind of
this.
tricky. There's
So
two ways to do it. Print it out,
show you the easier way. Saved onto your computer,
use a
so you guys can
rectangle.
have access to it.
Create a rectangle like we did before.
I'm going to skip the first one for now.
Let's see here.
We're going to leave the dimensions out.
6
We're going to do that
by
later.
1
We're going
foot
to
3
start with the
inches
file
and 3
cabinet.
quarters.
It's a 3 foot by 18 inch
1'6"
cabinet. So to do
dimension
that,
first,
I would go to my home tab bar,
1'6",
making sure that I have OSNAP on for future use and ortho. And we'll go to rectangle. I'm going to start a rectangle at the center, left bottom corner, something like that, right here. And I'm going to type in D for dimension. Rectangle. It gives you the option here. Specify other corner point or D for dimension. The new version of AutoCAD allows you to select the option. So it highlights here. You just click on it instead of typing it out. Your first length will be the horizontal length, which is 3 feet, and place it. And the other one is 18 inches or 1'6". It's set up at my center.
Oh my god.
I'm going to change it to axis end, so it has 3 points. So I select this corner.
So basically,
we use the rectangle command
and this midpoint.
And that creates that corner
ellipse.
And instead of clicking typing in D for dimension, we're going to just click on this area.
I can double check this dimension
and that gives
by
us
going
dimension
to
tab.
linear.
Specifies
Before
the length,
I do that,
which is actually the horizontal length. So it's going to be 3 feet.
That quadrant is active.
And the vertical, which is the width,
it's not
going to be
so
1'6", or you can just do 18 inches.
And I go linear, and I dimension
and we're going
it
to
out.
place it. It's going to ask you which
quadrant
where you want to place it.
So which do that same thing on the
quadrant.
other side. We're going to put it here.
So
now,
if you don't like the position of it, you can always move it by using the move command.
Text I used previously.
Select the move command.
Go over exactly
select
how
the
to
object
that text
you would like to move.
I go to my
Of course, it's
MText.
going to ask you, would
two
you like to
options.
select any
Your
more?
MText
No, I'm done. So I right
so whenever you click on the A,
that will be your
now it's going to ask me
MText
to
or whatever
specify
you used
base
previously.
point
Of displacement.
So you select MText, we
so
create a rectangle.
select the point where you want to move it from,
is here,
and
it snaps onto everything.
the
So
point
move
where
it
you
around
want
later.
it to be.
So we're going to create a rectangle from here to here. Got it to about the center.
The size will be
maybe 6
box
inches, I believe.
It's going to create a line.
Start typing
across.
in 103A.
Finish up
now,
that
I
file.
don't like this kind of
the other thing is we're
line,
going to add
select that text back
dimensions.
We're going to change
like
the style.
There's a few different options here
to change styles.
Linear dimensions here, or you can go to annotate dimensions.
You can do. You select
the
text
thing.
again and go bold.
Home tab and annotate.
Creates a nice bold text.
So you can see that it says
set
annotate
9 inches here.
That's actually a
double
shortcut
check
to that
before you click
tab.
enter.
Same with.
There you go. And just click on the screen to
accept.
So you annotate.
Now I dimension.
Move that object.
We create a dimension by snapping onto the endpoint and endpoint. That's why I had my OSNAP on.
That creates that.
Create that
door number.
The only issue is it's not the same color. That means it's in a different layer.
This
so
is
if I want
not
place dimensions, which I normally would do at the end once I have everything completed.
This one should have been different.
Just wanted to show you guys.
Do we have something for notes?
Yes, we do.
But let's
so
say
the text here. I need to change this.
Again, I hold shift to deselect.
I need to change the layer. I select the object that I would like to change the layer. Go to my home tab, and over here we have your layers. You're going to select dimension.
And
dark blue.
Same with this
also, since I was working on layer 0, that's also incorrect. I should have had layer furniture.
And then we go to our next one, which is a simple rectangle with text.
So like rectangle. So to fix this file cabinet to be on the furniture layer, I need to select it also
3
and change it
by
to
1 foot
furniture layer.
So 3 foot.
Now if you don't like the colors,
by 1.
Right now I have blue and blue, which is not something I should have. But you
can
go to Format Layers,
move the text,
and here you can change the colors to your own preference.
Select the item.
So I'm going to change the layer for the furniture, something brighter.
Actually, from what it looks like, it's a bit bigger. So I'm going to
scale
it up.
Contrast to green.
Use the scale command.
My dimensions are in dark blue.
Scale. We use the center of it. Scale it up. Use my mouse and
furniture is going to be in green.
To a size I prefer.
I can catch on if I'm working on layer 0 or I'm working on my furniture layer.
So there's one additional letter.
So we also need to create the other dimension. But wait, before you do that, make sure you switch your layer. So that way, when you do the dimension, it goes into the same layer.
101.
Now, if you want the text to be in between the arrows or out, all you have to do is select the dimension, select the blue point of the text
scale
itself,
it down a little bit,
and just drag it to the place you like it to be, like so.
There we go.
And then if you need to stretch this out back more, all you have to
Next
do is
part
grab the
is
blue
the
at the
door
corner, stretch it back.
Or no.
The blue you want to grab is the one
text.
by the
That
arrows.
should be
So
not
that's
door
the one you
number.
want to use
It
to
should be
move
called
the text
cabinet
back and
module
forth.
P24.
This one's to move.
Did anybody catch that?
Oh, sorry. To move the dimension. And this is to move the text.
The text on this block.
And the corners is just to move the endpoint of the dimension.
So make sure you have those corrected, and even there's double text here. That's a trick that
so we move on to the next one. Before I start, go back to my furniture layer
and resolve them.
I'm going to also do a rectangle since it's a pretty simple square object.
Make sure you change
that's 2'4" by 2'2". So
this is going to be cabinet module
so
P24.
I'm going to go to rectangle
2 foot by 2 foot plus this opening area.
Click D for dimension,
where the drawer pulls
and
out.
I'm going to type in 2 feet.
Do a rectangle, pretty simple.
/4 for 2'4",
D enter 2
and
foot
2
by
feet
2 foot.
Don't forget the foot symbol.
And then we have to create this
/2. And that creates that box, and you just click to place it.
There's nothing specified, but it can't be more
box
than 24.
Will be a
so I'm going to do
backrest of the chair, which is 6 inches by 2'4". So I'm going to do
20, 24,
rectangle,
and snap on.
It doesn't have to be exactly in the same place. I'm going to move it back into its position.
Text here.
I'm going to create it somewhere here, so it doesn't interfere or snap onto by accident.
Hidden. Should we have? We do have the
2'4".
So select that. Those 3 lines. Change it to hidden. Select the other.
Put the D for dimension.
Square. Change that to
rectangle.
Furniture. And then
dimension.
Change this. So I forgot to change that.
4
to notes.
Did I just
of 20 inches. Now it looks also like the drawing shows double layers. So over here, double lines.
And place it.
But I'm just going to leave it as
Now, if you want to move this object to be
I think it's
exactly
how
in the back of the chair, you need to go to the move command. You're going to select the object you're moving. Click space or enter or right click.
So
It's asking you if you want to select any more.
And
you're going to select the corner here. So you see an endpoint snap that highlights square. And you're going to do the same thing at the corner of this bigger box.
Elevator cabinet.
So it snaps onto it. Even though it's showing a preview that's out on the left side, it's actually going to snap into that endpoint.
So first of all, this box should be bigger for the elevator cab. So let's just stretch that.
The other rectangles are going to be the armrests, which are 2 by
and then move the
whatever's left, which is
so it's at center.
1 foot 8 inches.
We need that extra room for that elevator.
And 1 foot 6 by 2.
Now the cabinet module W2430.
Okay, so next step will be the rectangle for the armrest.
What that means, the module W2430
started from this
usually a standard cabinet size,
which is specified, which is D for dimension.
The wall.
It's going to be 2 inches wide,
so it's mounted against the wall.
So that's hence the W. 24 is a little short, and 30 inches is width. I should have left it actually. So I'll show you what to do if it's too short. I'm sorry, 24 is its width, 30 inches is its height.
So I have it too short here,
and to fix that issue, all I really need to do is use the stretch command. I can use the stretch command, or I can select the item since it is a rectangle,
like that,
and this blue point in between these endpoints,
let's see,
corners, so it shows the doors, so allow me to stretch out. Now the doors can't be bigger than the cabinet, so if the cabinet is 24 inches wide, once you have that rectangle complete, what you can do is use the copy command, or you can use the mirror command.
Now to give it to that angle that you're looking for,
I would use the copy command.
If we have ortho on, we won't be able to do that.
And ask you if you want
unless we rotate the line. So there's 2 different ways. I'll show you how to do this.
Not the left corner, because I have a right corner.
One way would be creating a line
here where I'm going to snap it
from this endpoint here.
So I'm going to grab this one.
We go up
and snap it to that
12 inches.
Click escape.
That creates and we use the rotate command.
Now we
do the rotate command.
You select by going back into our dimensions
item you like to rotate, which is this
linear
vertical line.
We start
placing or enter. It's going to ask you for a rotation base.
They don't have to be exactly like the drawing.
Point of rotation
gives you exact dimensions that are needed to create this chair.
So when it rotates,
so the architect has an idea what kind of chair you're placing there.
It rotates.
We're not going to put the text in for the insertion point. Just
you can have ortho on or off. It doesn't matter.
Okay, this one is complete. But what you might want to do is change the layers.
Going counterclockwise, it's positive.
Table should be on a different layer.
Clockwise should be on the furniture
layer.
So if we want to rotate this 45 degrees, we type in negative 45.
I'm doing is just grabbing all the lines
and it creates that 45-degree angle. If you want to go 30 degrees from this line here, you type 60 degrees. So we have that. Now, if you need the recording, so keep that in mind.
Select everything you want to change
45,
layer,
which is a little bit too much. So I can go back to rotate command.
Basically, for all of you guys who want to put the insertion points,
now that I'm going
on the first
block,
there is an insertion point that you can copy
and that creates
and paste into your
30-degree angle.
So you
check
select
that
object right here.
You go to your
copy
linear
command,
dimensions.
select
You can go to your angular dimensions. You select the line,
and then you place it
this
in
line
positions
where you would like the
insertion point to be.
What the
place
degree
here.
is. It's 30 degrees.
And
that's what I'm looking for. I think 30 degrees is a great angle to show doors. Now don't worry about the second one. We're not going to draw and rotate all that. We'll just use the mirror command. But before we do that, we need to still create that.
So now we'll go back
to the next one on the left here. Elevator the arc cab number, which
we're going to create a rectangle again. Pretty quick.
Usually overextends to the wall, but we can't see it. So
it's 2 foot.
This is a simple drawing of a cabinet just for a floor layout. So they just want to know which way the door is open. That's why we're creating that.
I'm not sure if that
you go to our arc command.
2 foot.
So you have a lot of different options for drawing arcs. We'll stick with the easy ones. The first one, start, center, end.
Move it, of course.
So start. Now, let's place the text in. Center. So this text, there's 2 ways of doing text. There's multiple text and there's a single text. M text, for short, you type that into. It creates a box first, or a rectangle.
Where is this thing?
Where you want to write the text, you specify its sizing.
3 points.
So for this one, we actually go about second point of arc, 8 inches, which is actually going to be. I have to turn off ortho, so we'll create it somewhere in between rectangle, the arc, and then the third one will be the end 8 inches, the midpoint of the. And to keep that number, what I do is you can also adjust it by selecting the arc. You can adjust it to make it smaller or wider. I can write down as you please. This is just showing how the door opens. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, if you want it perfect, what you can really do is create a circle. What you can do is stretch it out here to the end of the line. This gray area, if you grab that, you'll see a horizontal arrow to trim out all the things you don't need. Then you will have the perfect arc, creating a bigger box so your text doesn't automatically get pushed on the bottom. So, after we do the arc, what we want to do is select both items, and we're going to mirror it across to the other side. To do that, we use the mirror command. There we go. It's going to ask us to specify first point of mirror, which is we're creating a line. It looks like that 8 inch is a little bit too big. So we're going to create a that will happen. So mirror line. All I have to do is double click that text. The midpoint of this. Select it once more to the midpoint. We're going to change it to about 6 inches. And we click enter to keep both. Hit tab, and it creates our second door. Anything. Actually, I'm going to make it bold. About our doors is it's not on the wrong layer. They should be hidden. So I'm going to select both. Make it bold. Both doors. Standard text. And change them to hidden. Change the text style. In addition to that, I'm going to take the casework and change it from dimension. There we go. To furniture. I have to do next is move it into its position. My cabinet. Command. Select the object. So enter space. Use the angle now. Angular, select the point from where you want to move here. Create, where did it go? The dimension. Move, select, boom. Now, as you can see, the text is in the wrong area, so I'm going to select that text. Instead of dimension, select the text by that blue point at the text. You can also change the text to move it over to the other side. More, just like that. It doesn't have to be style 1. Click escape to deselect. You can go here and then decide. The other casework. But remember, every time you change the text, the actual scale of the text may change also. So keep that in mind. You guys saw how I did that first one, so the same thing goes with the other one. And then, of course, I might even do it the easy way. So it depends on what text you're using it for. Let me use a 2'6", 2'6", and this is 2'2". Alright, I thought I was going to stretch it out, but maybe. Here's an example of how I would do the other one. Since I am a sort of a lazy, I'm going to be using the dimension 1 text size. I select the dimensions, the cabinet, the doors, everything here. Not 8. I copy it over to my next box. Yeah, I can keep that. Even if I have ortho on, it'll be perfectly aligned. Somewhat the center. Makes it look nicer. So I have
and
that.
the thing is that this one changed from 1 foot
and you
depth
can leave it
to
into
a 2
dimension
foot
text.
depth. So I'm gonna use the scale command
or a dimension layer.
Sorry, not scale.
That should
Stretch.
be fine.
Stretch
In
command.
addition to, you
select
gotta
the
make sure that the actual
object,
exterior is
but
in
I'm
the
only
furniture
selecting
layer.
parts that I want to have
That's
moved
that
or
one.
stretched. So anything that's
Here we don't
inside
have
the
to do
box
anything.
completely will get
Intersect
moved.
text.
Anything
we'll
that's only
add that
being
little bit
touched
later.
will be stretched.
So I have
the
that
two
part.
vertical
Now we
lines will
go
be
to our
stretched.
next drawing.
The doors and the door front will be just moved. And the bottom of the cabinet won't move at all.
That's weird.
So I do that, I click enter. It's going to ask me to specify a base point to start from. I'm going to start from here so I don't snap onto something by accident. I'm going to move it up because you can see how it's changing. Even the dimensions changing to about 2 feet.
Drawing of this.
But instead of trying to click on it, making sure that it hits 2 feet, I'm just going to type in 12
CAD1,
inches.
that's complete.
Because I already have 1 foot,
which
so now I have 2 feet. The other step is I need to make
get the hexagon.
this
What
2
you need
feet
to do
6
is
inches,
go to
which
your
is an issue because if I stretch it from one
right
side,
under rectangles,
one door will be
polygon.
6 inches longer than the
So
other.
you select that polygon.
So what I have to do is I have to stretch this from both sides.
It's going to ask
do
you
that,
for enter
I
number of
stretch.
sides. So you type in
I select the entire
6 sides.
side, which
Enter.
will move that
Specify
vertical
center
line,
of the
but will
polygon.
stretch the
I want
door,
center to be
the
right
front
here.
of the cabinet, and the back of the cabinet.
Inscribed or circumscribed.
Click enter. I mean, click.
We'll keep it inscribed.
And I click space or enter because I'm not asking for any more parts.
Inscribed is flat on top.
Click a placement, specify a base
circumscribed
point of displacement. So I click it anywhere on the screen, and I move it to the direction I would like. Be careful not to move it up or down.
Not specifying.
Just want to go horizontally. If you have ortho on, that is key. Otherwise, you might have it at an angle by accident.
So,
Alright, so I'm going across, and I'm going only 3 inches.
That's the
do it from both
diameter,
sides.
remember. So if you type in the
this way,
radius,
3 inches this
it's
way.
going to be half that.
It automatically stretches out the door. So
it's going to be 9 inches.
So everything works out. So instead of redrawing it completely from scratch, I did a shortcut. Now, you saw me do that. It took me a little while.
That once more.
I'm going to do it the way I would normally do it, like that. So I'm going to copy this over, go to my stretch command.
There we go. Not sure what happened there.
The thing is, if you like the text you used before and you want to keep using the same text, there's an easy way of doing
instead
this.
of drawing the whole thing over,
it took me A text or M text. I'm just going to copy it over.
Shorter.
So I use the copy command.
This.
We'll copy it over to a position where I think it should be.
The next one is a little
And then
tricky because it's actually angled.
So actually, this one I'd have to redesign. For this one, it's 2 foot wide, but 2 foot.
needed.
So I'm actually going to just draw 24 inches, 24 inches.
In addition,
and
this one has an angular dimension.
Based on this drawing,
doesn't have a
1 foot
vertical or horizontal.
To get that angular
inches,
dimension, you have to go to linear
and close it up.
Aligned. Angular would actually give you a degree.
A
line is the one you want that will actually align itself based on the points. Select the object first, change the layer.
So we go aligned.
We create a door that is
bottom, one on the side.
Actually, I don't know what the length of the door is based on this. I can dimension it out.
Give me 1 foot 6.
But that's too much work. So I'm going to do is create a line over that same
Actually, there's a lot of things
door.
that
It's blue.
become
There's a green one under it. Let's select that
so
line.
we have to do a little bit of math.
Select the green one. It's okay.
To do that,
I'm going to use the rotate command.
We figure
this
out.
time I'm going to go
1
negative
9/16 is
15.
0.5
that creates that door.
Plus the 1 foot 3.
It's blue.
15.
Which I'll have to change it
so
to
we
fit in
have
later.
15.5625, which is pretty close to the
next part is I need to create this arc,
18 inches.
which I showed you a trick. Circle. You start from the end point, but to the end of the line.
So we divide
use
that
the trim
by 18.
command. Select the entire object. Click space or enter, and trim off what you don't need. And of course, making sure your layers are
15
in the right
9/16
layer.
Should probably write that down.
And then finally, we just put in
16
the dimensions.
Is 0.56225,
like so.
So I do
and actually
18 inches
now,
divided
for this
by
one, there's some text with the dimension THP.
5625.
So
to do that, you double click on the dimension I need. The 15.5625 is from here,
and you use your
this is the scale I need to change it to make it exactly 16.
Get on the right
That's
side
not going to be perfect. It's
click
not
enter so you
supposed to
get
be
under it.
This is not
and type in THP.
rocket science or anything.
And then you select on the screen
creating
to
a logo
command.
for and that creates your THP
marker.
Don't worry that the text under the arrow.
I can take this text.
We'll keep it like this for now.
1.156.
In addition to this, remember, you guys have the insert points.
You want to round it up.
Just take that insert point,
and we go to this object here. We go to our scale command. We select the object you would like to scale. Select the center.
So you select it, copy it,
and we're going to type in that
1.157.
So by typing that out, I will scale it up exactly 15%.
That's something. Making sure you have midpoint,
and that gets us to the 1.6
in your
we need.
snaps.
So that's how you resolve that. I like teaching the things that the mistakes that I make, you will probably make. So that
you can also place the text for the insert point by going to your leader here.
So,
or if you're an annotate.
Otherwise, I can make it easy, look simple, but never
select that end point or that center point.
Move on.
Of that. We'll do one more, and then we'll take a point.
I'll do a walk around.
And what you have to be careful about is that you have ortho because you're putting in an angle. Make it long enough so the arrow actually shows. If it's too short, the arrow will not show. So here's the short,
and it's divided by 3 sections, so we have to keep that in mind.
Good. And here is
so create that. Okay. So rectangle,
a long one. Select the point. Type D for dimension. 4'4" by. Now, before you click anything, remember the text size. You have to change that also. So you select the text.
You click it first
to about 2 inches.
Move.
Even though it looks huge right here, it's going to be okay. Like so, something like that.
And we're going to divide this up a little bit.
Arrow text size, yeah, that's not the right size.
You can either create a line,
so I will have to figure out
across,
how to change
or you can create a rectangle. It's up to you.
So to do that,
go with the line format. This time.
Dimension style. The line will be going up. If it's 2'6", we are working arc 1 dimension style. We'll modify it
and across.
We go to our
second line and arrow
offset 10 inches. I'll go over this with you guys. That creates that 3 segment line. Change that to 2 inches.
Plus, you need one at the center, so you from the midpoint to midpoint. If you don't have that triangle, that means you don't have the O-snap midpoint on, which should be active, should be highlighted.
So format, dimension style.
Create that line.
Modify. It's 3/16, that's right. But
our next object is to move that text here. I think this should work. This text size should fit in there perfectly. You can copy
text size, you paste it over.
Reset that to 2 inches. I'm going to move it around to place it into a position that's looks perfect for me.
All right, back to that part with the intersection point
cooperates
with the leader. To modify that so that the actual arrow size will be bigger. I think we need it 3/16 size. We can go to
so make sure you save your work.
My computer is
especially going slow because I am recording.
You'll find where you can modify.
You might be a little bit better.
Make sure you save your work.
If you guys don't know how to.
Leader style.
The icon, save as.
So here you go, and then you got your text, which you can change it to 2 inches.
So leave the copy. You'll be able to change it over.
So small,
and save it into your H drive.
30 seconds, that's fine.
H drive, and so forth.
And my computer.
Okay, so once you have it saved, go back to your room number.
You start changing the text. This one's gonna be R. So
NO
number. Put text height 2 inches.
0. Again, the box is too small, so I'm gonna stretch this out.
Here.
Also, so the text is
try it 2 inches. It might
now
be a little too big.
Actual text is
a
bit too big. So I can
either go in here, double click, and change the text size. Let's say 4 inches.
You're recording.
Actually, maybe I could do 5.
So 2 inches was too small. We can always go back to this.
I like to fill up the box as much as possible.
Multi-leader style.
Perfect.
5
Modify.
inches is what we're looking for.
Leader format. Hit that tab.
Then you select that same text. You copy it downwards by this corner endpoint to this endpoint.
Click OK.
Getting exactly the same start position, so it looks nice and clean.
Similar to our arrows.
Double click into it.
So I'll keep that as is. Oops, capitals, letters.
All right. In case you want to put a leader with a spline, so it's a little wavy, curvy, what you can go do is go to Format, Multi-Leader Style. You're going to modify, and under the leader format, you have the
looks
type
like my text
is straight.
is still a little bit too big.
You can change that
so
to
I'm going to
spline.
Actually scale both.
That gives you a spline.
Now
you don't want to scale both at the same time because they will be
appealing.
scaling from a specific position.
And there, instead, what I recommend is doing it twice.
All our
the object.
current models
You can scale it maybe
So it's not a straight line, it's a spline.
So it's,
and of course,
80%
you can adjust
of the
it
size
as
you wish, and so forth. That looks much better. All right, and in addition to that, we're going to add the dimensions. So linear.
do the elevator.
And you also have to do the elevator, so don't forget to do that. Fix any wording that may
And
be
of course,
not
I did all the whole project in the wrong layer.
And don't forget to fill in your title block. Select the objects.
To make sure that this
If you
project
select
is
too
yours,
many
not somebody
objects by
else's.
accident, it happens. And instead of going over and trying to click it all over again, all you have to do is hold Shift, and it allows you to deselect parts. So you hold Shift and click on the things you don't want selected. Going back to your layer command, change it to furniture. And then we move on.